Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. One negative trait that I observed very often in the intellectual strata of the society is weaselness, lack of courage, this attitude of a shirker, avoiding responsibility, thinking that they are a little bit smarter than others to avoid responsibility, but gaining respect, or at least being part of the winning team without putting any effort because they're sneaky. That kind, part of them, and that is sad. The problem is they should be working on their character. Not only, well, that's why you call an intellectual, is not necessarily one who uses his brain to work on something. Somebody that tries to, how should I put it? We call it polish his character, his being, his attitude, his behavior. Someone who shows nobility in a certain way. But hey, that's just me. So what happens when you have in a society a group of people who, how should I put it, agree with lowering the standards for certain admissions? Let's say we have to be a, I don't want to say a lifeguard. You're a lifeguard, but you can't swim. That was not a requirement. What do you think? And if you say that that's wrong, then you are a this, and you are a that, and you are a this, and you are a that. So I think a lifeguard should, the first requirement is to know how to swim, to float, alive, not dead. Dead bodies float, you know, the lungs are still there, and not only. Okay, so that's the first requirement. So when you do you're supposed to perform a certain task, a certain job, you have to have some qualifications. Intellectual, physical, moral abilities, all these things, depending on how sophisticated the job is. For instance, if you are a teacher, a professor, you don't need to be physically strong. No, you just have to do your little curriculum right and be able to answer questions from the baboons in the classroom. That's all you need to do. That's the minimum requirement. You can be a cyclop, you can be fat, you can be ugly, doesn't really matter. You can be this, you can be that. The only requirement is your brain and ability to express and teach the other ones, convey your message and get into the student's brain in order to make that brain work the way you want it to brain. That's what you need to do. Pedagogy. Be able to teach. Not only say it and then go home. No, you have to make sure that you adjust your teaching method, your teaching way to each and every student over there according to his understanding, way of seeing things, level of understanding. That's a professor, that's a teacher. Not the ones who say, see ya, my check, bye-bye, see you next time. Not like that. So what do we have here? If you lower the standards in a society in order to get a job, that means that those people that will get the job will be most likely less qualified. That means they will fail because the standards were put there in the first place to make sure that the candidates, only the ones that have the skills necessary to perform the job, are gonna pass. And the other ones, find a different job that fits you. Maybe better than that, maybe not better. Get better, train. So we have here in the military, the Navy cannot fulfill its quota of recruits. So what do? Instead of saying, wow, maybe that's a national problem. Maybe that's because of our youth are, I don't know, semi-tarded, weak, weasels, soybeans, however you want to call them. Or soy boys, I don't call them soy boys, soybean. If you say soybean, you drink latte with soybean and then you lactate. You become pussified. A lot of them are doing that. All right. So anyway, so what's going on? Instead of saying something is going on, maybe we should restructure, maybe we should compress, maybe we should not demand that we have this amount of recruits because we can't have them. We're going to have only this, but these are good ones. Remember Spartans? The Spartans, the real Spartans, not the movie. No, the Spartans were one by one by one. They underwent agoge. Agoge is the school that got them tough. Without that, you wouldn't have a weaker person. Remember, supposedly, at a certain age, the guys were looking at the kid and say, okay, the kid is defective, and so on. They say, we didn't find any proof that mountain really existed where these guys, the elders, were looking and say, hey, this kid is tarded. Out. Supposedly. Well, I like to believe it was so. I don't expect these weasels who are the soybeans telling us that was not true. That was not true. Why? Because they know that society would have cast them and let them over there. That's why they're like, oh, no evidence actually. You. Anyway, so we have here the Navy. Let me show you about the Navy. Navy decides to lower the standards. That means the values. You're going to get weaker people or unprepared according to the standards. I know standards sometimes are very rigid. I understand, but there are the minimum requirements. Minimum. That means you go in the Navy, I think you should definitely be passing some psychological evaluations, some IQ tests. The military does that all the time. Some physical abilities, some moral, criminal history checks, and so on. Some, character evaluation, and then we're going to get you there. And obviously, you have some requirements. Like, for instance, it used to be high school diploma is the minimum. Well, that's gone. Now, I'm not going to claim that people without high school diploma are idiots whatsoever. Why? Because I met people with no high school diploma, with no college degree, and they had more common sense, more courage, more love for their country, more determination, and more wit, natural wit. Maybe they didn't have the knowledge, the information, but they had the capability. Why? Sometimes in life we are immature, okay? And we don't think, I can speak for myself too, we don't think that education is something that is really important because it's not developed yet, okay? And you don't care. And you make mistakes while you're in grade school, maybe later, and so on. And after a while, if you realize that, hey, right now I'm 24, what am I going to do? Maybe if I go back to school. And they can go back to school if they think that would help them. Even though nowadays, not necessary, but it's good. Anyway, I'm not trying to have anybody discouraged that, hey, don't go to school. No, go to school. But don't put too much stress on it. Like, oh, I'm going to have a diploma. These are diploma factories, the universities here. Diploma factories. If you know something about people and knowledge, shit, you go over there and see you rub shoulders with newly graduated from high school and they don't know squat. Some don't know, and you think, how in the fuck you're here in college? Well, lower the standards. So we have here, let me show you this article. Associated Press, no diploma, ? No problem. Navy again lowers requirements as it struggles to meet recruitment goals. Instead of limiting the number of recruits but keep the value like the Spartans, and they will fuck everybody with a lower number of fighters, of Spartans, will destroy all the other guys, the Corinthians, the Athenians. They were peasants and their military was even small and not trained. You want to have quality or you have to have inclusion? Which one is it? And lowering the standards lowers the values, the quality. It's like you want to drink some wine, I want a Chardonnay. And they give you some Chardonnay, and then you know what? I'm going to give you some water. Blip, blip, blip. Whoa, what are you doing? Do you think I'm those guys? I'm not those guys. I want to drink as it is. Or, in any other drink or food. You want this food as it is. You don't want to add anything, mellow it, or dilute it. So the U.S. Navy is starting to enlist individuals who didn't graduate from high school or get a GED, making the second time in about a year that the service has opened the door to lower performing recruits as it struggles to meet enlistment goals. The decision follows the move in December 2022 to bring in a larger number of recruits who score very low on the armed services qualifications. The test, both are fairly rare steps that the other military service largely avoid or limit, even though they are all finding it increasingly difficult to attract the dwindling number of young people who can meet the military's physical, mental, and moral standards, and psychological, but mental. Let me tell you this. I give you an example from my experience as an investigator. In the investigation, you have to follow a policy. You have a protocol. There are some rules and regulations, but going in, you investigate. It means you speak with people, you interview them, find out, do some criminal history search, background search, and all that. You try to figure out what happened according to the allegations from your investigation. All right, boom. Okay, you do this. But the problem is, it happened many times when I was dissatisfied with the outcome, not maybe with the outcome of investigation as well, but we followed all the procedure. All the requirements were met. And the supervisor and the program director and everybody was happy. Did you follow the policy? Yes. We're clean, let's go. Wait. No. Did you follow it? Yes. That's sometimes these kind of things, and it's wrong. These kind of things matter more than actually the real investigation. You follow the policies, you're good. The same, for instance, like let's say you have a surgeon, and let's say he shows up after he, I don't know, let's say he worked on your father or your mom. Maybe I should not go like that. I'm going to give you a general, okay? So the surgeon shows up at the family and said, hey, taking his gloves off, let's say, well, the surgery, it was a success, but the patient died. So we followed all the policies, we're covered, good to go. But based on that, the surgery was a success because of the policy, but the patient, which was the goal, he died. Now the same thing here. Well, we're going to lower the standards, we're going to get the number. I don't give a fuck about the number, I want the quality. I want a Mercedes and you give me a what? A Toyota Camry or something? No offense, but if I want that one, I don't want the other one. I want this kind of steak and you give me that kind of bullshit? No, I want this kind of wine, you give me a margarita? What the hell is this? But this is the general standard here. Now, I'm not trying to say that people who did not graduate, as I said again, I don't want to insult. If I want to insult, I'd let you know. But it's not the case. As I said earlier, there are people who really have more common sense than the intellectuals, the ones with the diploma, the ones that are supposed to be like this. And some of them, but don't lower the standards. And this happening here in the United States of America, I saw it in many, many circumstances, where everyone gets a trophy. No. And I'm the first, if I'm the best, you're the second, and you gotta everybody know that I'm the best. Fuck all of you. I'm the best, I beat you up. Go and train, motherfuckers. That's how it is. So insulting. Why? You should be ashamed of yourself. This time I was better. Maybe next time you're gonna be better if you train and if I stop training. Okay? Nowadays, we're gonna have this, you don't know how much. When I was in Romania, bad or good, when they will tell you the grades, they will say, Emil Kosman failed 4. Fuck! Everybody will hear it. Why? Oh, it's so shameful. Oh my God, depression. And then what's next? You have to put up with reality, with your lack of achievements. And you know, oh, he got a 9. In Romania, it was from 0 to 10. 10 was maximum, 0 was 0, and 4 was failing, 5 was passing, barely. Okay, 5 was a good grade. So let's say you got a 4 or a 2. Everyone knew what you got. Oh, don't hurt the people's feeling. Why? This is your value. You don't like it? Change it. Oh my God. There were not suicides over there. Go and do it right now in the schools in America. America the strong. Do it with these youth and tell them, everyone, you failed, you're a loser, you're gonna have, oh my God, the self-esteem is dead. Well, you should not have self-esteem if you don't deserve it. How do you build self-esteem? By achievements. Compared with others. No achievements? Why should you have self-esteem? Why? Because you're gonna have false self-esteem. And then I'm gonna get you with a lot of self-esteem with 0 to support that, and I'm going to put you in a position of authority or a position that really requires your expertise, and you're a person with a lot of self-esteem, you know, no inhibitions, but you can't perform. I don't want that. No, this is where we're going with this fucking society. I don't want that. Do you want that? If you want that, that means you're one of them. Yes, I said it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.